Championship in the Oriental Rules Division. It's the champion, Pete Cunningham of Los Angeles, California, the United States, against Dida Diafat of France.
You can see this is going to be a great fight, I think. These two athletes are obviously very, very well conditioned. You can see they're both cut. They're both in very, very good shape. They both came into this fight wanting to come out of it as the champion. And certainly Diafat has been looking for this fight for a long time. And Pete Cunningham has no intention of giving this title up. Should be a very exciting match indeed.
Underway with round number one. This is 12 rounds, 2-minute rounds apiece, Robert.
Yep, they'll fight 12 2-minute rounds if it goes that far. Again, they'll both be hoping to knock each other out, but I don't think that they'll try over hard early on to land the knockout punch because they'll be looking to feel each other out. They have a lot of respect for each other.
The three gentlemen who are watching the fight ringside are judges for this evening's fight.
Yeah, we have Mike Sawyer is from America. He's the chairman of the ISKA World Council. He'll be judging the fight from ringside. Oliver Muller, who's the co-chairman of the World Council based in Switzerland, and Daniel Kidé from France. They'll be looking to judge this match on a 10-point must system.
Well, early in this first round, Pete Cunningham's doing more of the movement. It's Dida Diafat who is being somewhat of the aggressor.
Yeah, you've seen Diafat pressing right from the beginning. He's got Cunningham running around the outside of the ring to work his distance. And as we'd anticipate, a little bit of a filling out round, but at the same time, they are seriously trying to hit each other. You notice the mix between the kicks and the hand strikes. At the same time, you'll see the mixing between the kicks to the legs and then following with kicks sometimes to the head. We saw a high kick there from Cunningham to the mid-level.
Robert, how tough is it to kick from in close when they get in close quarters like that?
Well, it gets more difficult. The closer they are, the harder it is to kick. At the same time, there are some kicks that can be landed from close quarters, and we may see some of those kicks tonight.
Pete Cunningham has shown some flashes of some combinations with his hands. It's a little example of it right there.
Yeah, both these fighters have very good hand speed. There you see a little bit of fighting on the inside, and Diafat being warned for holding behind the neck. There you saw an attempt at a throw. That's against the rules. We get a little warning for that at the end of round one.
As you mentioned, it was a situation of a feeling out process, and that's what's going to happen when you get a #1 contender against a world champion.
Oh, sure, yeah. Obviously, neither of these fighters wants to take a risk and walk into something that will hurt them badly early on in the fight. So they'll take it easy. They'll be a little bit conservative. But they'll want to gain respect as well. And they only will gain respect by throwing serious techniques.
As it is in regular boxing, it is in kickboxing. The corner is of the utmost importance.
Oh, sure. These guys, they're going to be looking out every round to see if there's anything that needs to be corrected. It's all close-in action now.
A little holding behind the head, as you mentioned. Jimmy Barletta didn't take to that too well.
No, the Oriental rules do allow a little holding behind the neck for some controlled techniques, but Jimmy's not going to allow them to just grab each other. That's against the rules. And so he's going to break them and give them warnings. If necessary, there'll be penalty points deducted for that.
Dida Diafat's off his stool, so is Pete Cunningham. Here's the start of round number 2. Pete opens with a kick from the left side.
Yeah, he'll use that left roundhouse kick to the head if he can get it into the spot there. Both very light on their feet. It's very good movement. And Cunningham's open quite strongly there. And you see Cunningham mixing the front leg front kick with the roundhouse kick. And Diafat coming back with the punches.
Much more action with his feet in this round from Pete Cunningham.
Yeah, good lateral movement too. You can see he's not letting himself get trapped in a corner or cut off from the ring.
Robert, will Dida Diafat get frustrated having to chase Pete Cunningham for 12 rounds if it goes that far?
Not necessarily. He's probably just going to try and work on cutting off the ring. You saw there he threw the right leg roundhouse kick to Cunningham's legs, which is a move to cut the ring off a little bit, stop Cunningham from being able to move to his left so easily. Cunningham's going to have to watch that. If he's moving to his left, he's going to look out for that right leg roundhouse kick, cutting the ring off.
Pete Cunningham slipped 2 lefts from Dida Diafat.
side kick there. And there you see again the right leg roundhouse kick from Diafat to stop Cunningham moving off to his left. Definitely some serious leather being thrown in there. Strong hand techniques going in.
This round, we're seeing a great mix of the hand and the foot speed.
Bit of a swing there from Diafat. You saw he swung his foot over the rope as a result of the miss. You'll see that more in this Oriental Rules division. The tendency to use more of a swinging action on the kicks to the leg. It gives a bit more power from the hip. And very, very damaging if it lands on the leg. There you see Diafat's got Pete Cunningham in the corner a little bit. And
it's the end of round 2. We'll have round 3 action in just a moment. Just about ready to start round 3 for the ISKA World Light Welterweight Championship. In the Oriental Rules division, the champion Pete Cunningham defending his title against Dida Diafat of France. Chuck Bennett along with Robert Heel from the ISKA World Council. And well, the first 2 rounds went according to schedule, at least the way we predicted it up front.
Yeah, I think that probably Cunningham may have just a slight edge at the moment, but it's been a very even match. Boy, you saw that jump back kick there? That was very impressive.
First 2 rounds of feeling out process. I think we're going to see a little bit more action in the coming rounds.
Sure, I mean, Cunningham opened up there with a jump back kick, a nice side kick. He's throwing a little bit more flashy technique. He's very famous for that, of course. As long as he doesn't get over-punished for it, he'll continue doing that. And we saw Diafat there throw a couple of low roundhouse kicks in, and Jimmy Barletta stepping in there to warn Cunningham about the holding. And that was a nice jab over the top of the kick.
Pete escapes the left hook there.
Yeah, he'll look to try and do that all night if he can. I don't think he wants to get hit with Dida Diafat's left hook. It does look quite strong. You see a little bit of leg kicking there. It's all part of the strategy in the sport.
Both of these gentlemen are accustomed to knocking out their opponents. Dida Diafat has 15 KOs on his record, and 31 the champion, Pete Cunningham.
Yeah, these are both very seasoned veterans of the sport, and if they fight well, they know that the knockouts can come.
Cunningham in this round, Robert, much more of staying with Diafat. Diafat chased him pretty much for the first 2 rounds. He was more the aggressor.
Yeah, he's countering very strongly, too, off Diafat's technique. You're seeing Dida throw a kick in low and Cunningham coming straight back with some punches as if to say, that kick to the legs isn't going to bother me.
It's the end of round 3, and as mentioned earlier, this is 12 rounds for the ISKA World Light Welterweight Championship in the Oriental Rules division. And Robert, as we go back to Dida Diafat's corner, what do you think that his corner is advising him at this point? To stick with what you've been doing for the first 3 rounds?
Well, I think that what they could tell him perhaps is to try and cut the ring off a little bit more. He could use that back leg roundhouse kick effectively to keep that corner. A little bit what's happening sometimes is Cunningham's moving out of range. You see a little bit of slow motion action. A nice roundhouse kick right in the face there by Cunningham. See, that had Diafat a little bit in trouble. Yeah.
Another angle of the left roundhouse.
Yeah, very nice shot there of the kick going into his face. Obviously, not the kind of way that you want to have a kick hitting you all night. I think that they'll need to make sure he keeps his guard up and doesn't get hit with too many of those.
Here we go with round 4.
Oh, yes, that's the low kick taking him off his feet. Of course, completely legal within the rules. It's completely allowed. It's a good strategy to get that kick in low and sweep the leg out a little bit. You may see during the match as well, you'll see them sometimes kick the supporting leg. When one man's kicking, the other man will kick his supporting leg out. Again, that's a perfectly permissible strategy within the rules.
Now, in the sport of kickboxing, Robert, Dida Diafat was successful with that kick. Would he keep coming back to something like that?
Yeah, you'll see he'll keep on throwing that right leg. That particular technique is going to also work to cut the ring off a little bit and stop Cunningham from being able to move to his left as effectively.
Little showboating from Pete Cunningham.
Right, yeah, he's trying to say, well, that's not bothering me. You can whack the kick in as long as you like. It's not going to hurt.
Usually, though, when they say it's not bothering him, it's when it's bothering him the most.
Yeah, I definitely think that Cunningham's feeling that right leg roundhouse kick going into his left leg there. I doubt that he's enjoying it. Obviously, a very strong weapon for Diafat. A little smile from Diafat there. He seems to be gaining confidence at the moment.
I'm surprised Dida hasn't thrown more in the way of the left hook. The left hook looked like something that he was going to go to early, but we haven't seen much of it in the last 2 rounds.
Well, what's happening a lot of the time is that with Cunningham moving to his left, he's moving away from Dida's left hook. And so I think Dida's getting a bit frustrated. There you saw the left hand missing. He's having a little more success with his right leg than he is with his left hand because of Cunningham's movement.
Dida shakes off that punch by Pete and says, no, that one didn't hurt either.
Right, yeah, both of them a little bit of showboating.
As it is in just about any sport, a little psych doesn't hurt from time to time.
No, that's right. They're trying to keep the judges in mind and let the judges know, oh, that didn't really hurt me. He didn't really get me with that one. I guess sometimes it will.
4 rounds in the book so far, and Robert, looks like this one's going to be a close one.
Right now, I would have it very, very close indeed. That last round was a good start for Cunningham, but Diafat came back very strongly and possibly took the round with an edge in that one. So I'd have it pretty much even at the moment. You see a little slow motion on that kick that took him down there. You saw it took his leg out and he slipped a little bit and put his glove down on the floor. That's why Jimmy Barletta stepped in and stopped it. They can't continue fighting when the man touches the floor like that. So far this fight's living up to expectations. A very exciting match. A lot of technique being thrown. The hands and...
Dida Diafat is the #1 contender, ranked by the ISKA in the Oriental Rules Division. As we start round number 5.
A good flurry from Cunningham and the left leg following it.
If I didn't know better, I'd think there's a replay round number 4. Pete starting out the same way.
Yeah. Oh, nice side kick there. Nice side kick into the body and then following to the face. It is a good strong start by Cunningham. We'll see if he can keep up the pressure the whole round this time. He started very strongly last time, but Diafat came back very strong.
In the middle of round 4 is when Pete started the showboating, and from that point on, Diafat kind of took control of the round.
Right, he was landing very effectively with his right leg roundhouse kicks. And that, I think, contributed to Cunningham slowing down a little bit during the round. There you see him working that right leg again, low into Cunningham's left leg.
Pete's taking a little bit of a breather, Robert, as he leans back against the ropes.
Yeah, that was more of a slip. That wasn't a knockdown. I think it was a slip there, a bit of a push actually. And the referee's warning him because pushing is not allowed.
Jimmy Barletta's had quite a bit to say to Pete Cunningham tonight.
Right, yes, he'll warn him, but there is a limit to the number of warnings that he'll receive before there'll be some sort of a penalty point deduction. And he won't allow it to go on and on just with warnings. Good strong right hand over the top, but he's ended with a little bit of a hook there. It looks like Diafat's getting a warning for holding. And both these men, very well-conditioned athletes. Obviously showing a lot of experience. Cunningham more of a mover, whereas Diafat is stalking around his own, trying to cut the ring off. A little bit more holding.
That's the end of round 5. We'll take a look at round number 6 in just a moment. Welcome back to the Bercy Arena in Paris, France. Chuck Leonard with Robert Heel with round 6 action for the ISKA World Light Welterweight Championship in the Oriental Rules Division. Pete Cunningham, the champion in the white trunks with gold trim, and Dida Diafat of France in the, would you say, pink? I wouldn't say it's a Dida, but they are pink trunks.
Yeah, definitely pink trunks. There's no doubt about that. Both of these gentlemen like a little bit of flash on their trunks and a little bit of flash in their kicks. You saw that hook kick there from Cunningham just missing Dida Diafat's head. Fortunately for Dida.
In round 5, we saw a lot more from the way of foot speed from Pete Cunningham. He had some real nice kicks in round number 5. He's going more with his hands in round 6 to start the round anyway.
I think that he probably had a slight edge in round 5. He had a good round. Dida Diafat still stalking all throughout the round. And here we hear a chant from the crowd. Obviously supportive of Dida Diafat, chanting. That's right, the hometown boy out there doing his thing for his local community, making his contribution as their hero. See if we can pin Cunningham in the corner a little bit. That would get Cunningham in some trouble. You see Jimmy Barletta stepping into Brayton.
Looks to me a little bit, Robert, like Pete Cunningham's trying to get a little bit of a second win, maybe.
Well, he takes little breaks all through the round, and then he'll come back and throw an overhand right like that and look to surprise his opponent. This guy is in such good shape, he's not going to get tired for the 12 rounds, but he may sometimes try and fake his opponent out a little bit, make him think that he's not really as sharp at the moment, try and lure him into something. See, he's got his hands down now. It's not just showboating, sometimes a little bit of strategy involved as well.
Pete Cunningham trying to sneak that left jab in between Dida Diafat's gloves. That's the end of round number 6, and Robert, this is as close as we thought it was going to be right from the start.
Yeah, very, very hard to call a lot of these rounds because both fighters are fighting very well. Some very good exchanges and strategies. Just very complementary. You've got Diafat moving forward and pressing all the time. And you've got Cunningham moving very freely, mostly to his left, but moving very freely around the ring, controlling the range and controlling the distance. And basically it's just a back and forth kind of a match. There you see that jab, as you were saying, going right between and the following right hand, right between the gloves there of Diafat. Good left-right combination for Cunningham there. Again, this is the kind of combination that can sometimes give a fighter an edge. You saw Dida coming back with a left jab there. A lot of times, all the judge has to go on in a round is just 1 or 2 moves that land cleanly.
We're scheduled for 12 rounds. It's for the ISKA World Light Welterweight Championship. It's Pete Cunningham, the champion from the United States, against Dida Diafat of France. And we're underway with round number 7.
This is, again, a very active round as they start out straight away with the same kind of process. Oh, that was a nice sweeping move there. But I think he's getting a warning.
I think Jimmy Barletta's telling him he can't hold the leg in the air and take a sweep at him.
That's right, yeah. A certain amount of controlling the leg is allowed, but he actually grabbed it with his glove, and that's against the rules. The technique itself is legal as far as the kicking the leg out, but he's not allowed to grab his foot with his glove while he's doing it.
By my count, that's the 4th time Jimmy Barletta's had to have a conversation with Pete Cunningham during this fight.
Yeah, I would say that's about 4 times, and Barletta's going to look to take a penalty point if Cunningham continues to use foul tactics. There's a nice exchange there for Cunningham, countering off the kick. One of the awkward things with the Oriental rules is the fact that so much kicking is allowed. Oh boy, that was a nice side kick down to the ropes. So much kicking is allowed that sometimes these kicks can go into the groin by accident or into the knee by accident. And again, that's a foul. It can happen. They were, of course, a protective cut. But that was a nice pleasant kick there. We were saying earlier on that sometimes it's hard to kick close in. That is one of the kicks that can be utilized, even from a close range. Oh, a strong right hand there going onto Diafat's glove.
Again, Diafat is the aggressor. He's been moving forward for most of the fight. Pete Cunningham kind of been on his bike from time to time, but...
yeah, he's been fighting backwards quite a lot and sideways a lot of the time.
Ooh, a nice left jab. A couple of them strung together.
Very good, very good. Nice clean jab. But the kind of thing the judges are looking for. Those kind of unanswered blows that land cleanly. And a good left hook. Some strong shots there from Pete Cunningham. The judges are looking for those strong shots that go unanswered by the opponent. That's what will make the difference on their scorecard.
We're winding down round number 7 from the Bercy Arena in Paris, France. We'll have round 8 action for you in just a moment. Dida Diafat and Pete Cunningham Some action from round number 8.
Kick and kick a lot, and then return to the punch. My piece. Okay? All right, Didi?
Yeah, that's a good side kick right into the face there of Dida Diafat as he's pushed right back to the ropes by that one. There's a strong left hook in from Cunningham. He landed that very strongly in that round.
We're underway with round number 8 from the Bercy Arena in Paris, France. It's for the ISKA World Light Welterweight Championship in the Oriental Rules Division. I'm Chuck Bennett, along with me, Robert Heel, the Executive Director of the ISKA World Council. It's been a good one so far, Robert.
Oh yeah, definitely very exciting fight. A lot of good techniques, strong strikes with the hands, strong kicking action. The crowd is loving it out there. You can hear them. The other round they got very excited and started cheering and chanting for Diafat. Very responsive crowd. Great fight.
Again, round 8 is no different than the previous 7 as they start the round very, very fast.
Sure, yeah, both these athletes very well conditioned. A good punch into the face of Cunningham there by Diafat.
Again, Pete Cunningham holding his head down. Jimmy Barletta steps between the fighters.
Once again, we see Diafat pressing forward, pressing with attacks. Oh, that was a little bit spectacular. It was more of a push than a punch, I think. It sort of bowled him over a little bit. Interesting little cartwheel that he did out of it.
Pete's been trying for the last couple of rounds to put a couple of punches together in combination to try to keep Dida away from him.
Yeah, Diafat's been relying more on the 1-2 or the 1 punch, whereas we've seen Cunningham put 3 and 4 shots together sometimes. I think he'd really like to make that an effective move and land a few strong strikes. And now we see him right back against the ropes here.
How dangerous is it for Pete Cunningham to sit on the ropes like that, Robert?
Well, he's trying to make it look like it doesn't bother him too much, but I don't think he really wants to be there. What's happened is Diafat's managed to keep him from moving to his right, and at the same time he's cutting off the ring to the left with that back leg roundhouse kick. So that's what's getting him stuck on the ropes just a little bit now.
Dida Diafat from France is in the pink trunks. He is the ISKA #1 contender in the light welterweight division, the Oriental Rules division. That wraps up round number 8. And we're going to stay right here and take a listen to what some of the instructions are in between rounds. Go over to Diafat's corner. And I would think at this point, they're just telling him to stay with his game plan, continue to be the aggressor. They figure that sometime Pete Cunningham's going to make a mistake, and maybe at that point, Dida can land a shot and rack up number 16 on the KO side.
Right, that was a good round, I think, for Diafat. He was working the same strategy, pressing forward. Here you see Cunningham showboating a little bit. He could come unstuck with that because Diafat's a strong opponent and he has knockout power. We saw a good combination there from with the right uppercut coming in. Certainly Cunningham needs to take the situation very seriously when he's pinned back against the ropes like he was for a little while during this round.
There's another angle on that right uppercut that landed flush on Pete Cunningham's chin.
That's right, and it could have hurt him if that left hook that was following on behind it would have landed. It could have definitely been a strong shot, maybe a knockdown. So Cunningham needs to take it very seriously and stay off the ropes.
Round 9's underway. Well, we've had a fantastic 8 rounds so far. Round 9 starting off just the way the previous 8. Starting off at a quick pace again. Pete Cunningham comes out, tries to keep Diafat off him with that left jab.
That was a nice left roundhouse kick to the legs, almost taking Diafat's legs out from underneath him there.
Diafat's got a cut over the left eye, Robert.
Yeah, I can see the and
again he holds.
Hold and kick. That was a technique he was warned for previously. And yes, you see that cut right there over the left eye. And Jimmy Barletta, meanwhile, is deducting a penalty point from Pete Cunningham. That will be a penalty point from all of the judges' scores. Meanwhile, Diafat's gone to the corner and seems to be getting his eye cleaned off by...
It's a nasty gash, too.
Right. Oh, that was a knockdown. The short right hand. I didn't think that was a slip at all. It looks like Barletta's caught it a slip, but that looked to me like a knockdown. I would have given the knockdown for that one.
Again, he's telling him about holding the head down.
Right, yeah, we just see, just a moment ago we saw Cunningham lose a point. Now the crowd's getting up behind Diafat. They saw that punch as well go in. They saw Cunningham go back on the seat of his pants there for a moment.
In a situation like this, Dida Diafat's going to turn up the heat just a little bit because of the cut, right, Robert?
Well, yeah, he'll want to see if he can finish this off now. He doesn't want to risk having the fight stopped by the cut. And if there's any way he can put pressure on Cunningham and finish the fight now, he'll want to do that. Right now, Cunningham basically trying to fight him off. That was a slip. He went for the jump back kick and didn't make the landing. So Barletta will just wipe his gloves off and they'll start again.
Of course, the Paris crowd thinking Dida Diafat had knocked down Pete Cunningham.
Well, yeah, on that occasion he didn't, but I believe the earlier one was a knockdown, personally. A very nice right hand from Dida Diafat. Diafat still pressing forward, the same game plan, pouring in. And got Cunningham back against the ropes, another slip.
That looked like a slip, yeah. I was just about to say, I didn't see a punch land on that. So Pete pretty much went down because his feet went out from underneath.
Right, he stepped back and slipped on the floor there. There may be some grease in the corner. Quite a lot of times they'll use a little Vaseline on the fighters. And you saw a shot of the corner. They're very wet down there. Probably some Vaseline as well.
Continues to flow from the left eye of Dida Diafat, cut earlier in this round. We're just about ready for round 10 of a scheduled 12-rounder for the ISKA World Light Welterweight Championship in the Oriental Rules Division from the Bercy Arena in Paris, France. I'm Chuck Bennett, along with Robert Heel of the ISKA World Council. And here's some action from round number 9, which you mentioned you thought that was a knockdown, Robert.
Yeah, very nice short right hand by Diafat. Seemed to catch Cunningham coming in, and I thought it knocked him down. The other move that we just saw there was a slip. And you saw a real short right hand, catch him right on the chin, and there he goes to the canvas. I definitely thought that was a knockdown, no doubt about it.
Between rounds 9 and 10, Dida Diafat's corner working feverishly to stop the bleeding from the cutover's left eye. And we're hoping at this point, at least Dida Diafat's corner is, that this one's not going to be stopped because of that cut.
Yeah, you saw a big wodge of Vaseline there that they put on it. That'll hopefully keep it from opening up. Cunningham landed a nice right hand to it just now, and that won't help it.
We got some loose tape on the right glove of Pete Cunningham, and Jimmy Barletta sending him back to his corner to get the tape removed and cut off. That's very dangerous. Another cut could happen because of something like that. Loose tape on the glove.
Yeah, that's right. They need to take care of those things right away. Jimmy Barletta noticing that and getting it back to the corner. Nice exchanges here from Cunningham. Some good combinations. Nice left-right there. Dida Diafat got his own right hand in there over the top.
Robert, is Pete Cunningham going to concentrate on that eye, or is he just going to continue on the way he's been going, mixing his kicks?
I think he'll just go ahead with what he's doing. I think that to try and concentrate on a cut this late in the fight would be a mistake. I think he'll just stick to his game plan, keep on trying to put his combinations together, and work his kicks as well as punches. I think it would be a mistake to try and concentrate too much on that.
Dida Diafat's had a lot of success with the right uppercut in this fight, and he just missed with one there.
Well, he's very dangerous when he gets in close like that. He's got the kind of power that Cunningham doesn't really want to have to deal with. So I think that's why we're seeing Pete try and stay at some range and work his jab, his front kick to keep the distance.
Here we are in round number 10, and Pete's still doing the talking. He's had a couple of words for Dida Diafat in close quarters there.
Yeah, he doesn't want to do that too much. He could get caught with his mouth open, and that kind of a right hand that just landed could get him in some serious trouble. You see him having to fight his way out of the corner there, literally. A little bit holding on here. He has to watch that. He's already been penalized 1 point on all the judges' scorecards in the previous round for a foul. He doesn't need to lose any more points.
Again, the man who holds the belt, the ISKA World Light Welterweight Championship belt, is Pete Cunningham. He's in the white trunks with the gold trim. It's Dida Diafat of France, a hometown hero here in Paris, France. We're at the Bercy Arena. This is Chuck Bennett along with Robert Heel, and this has been a real good one, Robert.
Yeah, that was a great round just now. Really back and forth. These fighters obviously are at a point in the match now where they're both looking to try and get the judges' attention, to get the judges to look at them and say, okay, that's the fighter I think is winning this match.
Dida Diafat has been the aggressor for most of the fight. He comes back with his hands raised. He's feeling real good in front of his home folks. And Pete Cunningham goes back and just parks himself on the stool and is getting some instructions.
Yeah, I'd say that over the course of the match, I think that Diafat's been a little bit behind, but this round was a very strong one for him. And the round just before, round 9, when he had that knockdown, I think he's had a few very good rounds now. So he's coming back now to a point where the match is probably very, very close.
That overhand right was just fantastic.
Very strong shot for him. This is the kind of thing that makes a difference on the judges' scorecards. They're scoring on a 10-point must system where the winner of the round has to get 10 points. The loser can get 9.5 or 9 or even 8.5 or 8 in the case of a knockdown. And I would say all of these rounds have been very close.
Dida Diafat has 2 rounds to try to claim the ISKA World Light Welterweight Championship belt from Pete Cunningham. Here we go with round number 11.
And once again, we see the crowd getting behind Dida Diafat. Kind of like a slip to me. I don't think
yeah, we've got some loose tape again, Robert. This one now in the left glove.
Yeah, this can happen at this stage. What tends to happen in the corner sometimes, there's a lot of water around. They're dousing the fighters down between rounds, and it gets on the tape and it comes loose. Jimmy Barletta taking care of that immediately. That's a safety factor the referee has to be aware of.
Pete Cunningham's picking up the pace somewhat here in round 11.
Yeah, he just ate a bit of a jab there, though, from Dida Diafat. And that was a nice front kick, though, coming back. Cunningham uses that jabbing front kick a lot, and he's used it a lot through this match to keep his opponent at a distance where he can use his reach. There's good reach in his hands, a good left and right combinations from a distance.
Pete gets on his bicycle there for a few seconds.
The referee stepping in there. It was a little bit of a slip from the leg kick. The referee stepping in to make sure that no fouls were committed.
How'd you like to be a judge at ringside for this one?
Very, very difficult fight to judge. I've been sitting here watching it, trying to keep track of where I think it's at. And it's a very, very close fight at this stage. We see Cunningham really using his ring skills to keep the distance he wants to work at.
Robert, at this point, is it as close as the point that was taken away from Pete Cunningham and the slip? Jimmy Barletta ruled the slip that we thought was a knockdown. That could make this fight go either way.
Yes, that's one point that really does make it difficult for the judges, because they're judging the match round by round as it goes along. And a penalty point really hurts a fighter badly. It's a full point from all 3 judges' scorecards. And that's something that must be worrying Pete Cunningham at this stage in such a close match. You see Cunningham digging that roundhouse kick into the legs of his opponent. Very, very strong leg kicks from Cunningham there.
We've got 11 rounds in the books, and Robert, this one is as close as we thought it was going to be right from the get-go.
Oh yeah, these guys have been just going at the whole fight, really seriously kicking, punching, and doing everything they can to hurt each other. A tremendous amount of action in this fight. The local crowd really obviously enjoying it and supporting Dida Diafat, who we see here in the corner, having this water poured over his head. They're still working on that cut.
They've done a great job on that cut. Pretty much it wasn't a factor at all in round 11.
Right.
It all comes down to round number 12. We'll find out. Will Dida Diafat take Pete Cunningham's belt? We'll find out in just a moment. Diafat's corner people are telling him at this point, this is it, round number 12, straight ahead for the ISKA World Light Welterweight Championship in the Oriental Rules Division. Robert, this is a great one.
Oh yeah, tremendous fight, and a lot rests now on this last round. Both these fighters know that this fight's been very, very close. And if one of them really wants it, he's got to go after it now. This is his last chance to make an impression on the judges.
For some reason, I don't feel Pete Cunningham's going to be on his bike in this round. I think he's going to want to fight and fight right to the final bell.
For sure, we've seen a couple of good, strong kicks by Cunningham into the head of Diafat.
Nice right hand by Dida Diafat.
Yeah, that was very strong. Both of these guys mean some serious business in this last round. Good movement there by Cunningham, moving away. He doesn't want to get stuck in the corners at this stage. Diafat still pressing forward. The same tactics throughout this match of just pressing in, looking to be the aggressor throughout.
I think neither fighter's going to leave anything in this ring.
That was good. Nice left-right combination by Cunningham coming off the ropes there.
Diafat smiles, says, no, didn't hurt me.
I wouldn't want to get hit with it. this. Still using that leg kick as well, and he's got Cunningham pinned against the ropes here. If Diafat can keep him on the ropes, that would be very bad for Cunningham at this stage. But there we see a little flash from Cunningham. That's more like Pete Cunningham there.
And another slip.
You know, make sure the referee gets a clear area for him to get up in. He doesn't need to get up into Diafat's legs or his knees.
Dida Diafat trying to get the crowd behind him. They've been behind him all 12 rounds.
Oh, nice left-right combination to follow up as well. Obviously looking to take this fight to Cunningham and take the belt from him.
You would think for a second there that Pete thinks he's got this one wrapped up. Both fighters feel as though they have it. And the bottom line is Pete Cunningham still has his belt.
Right, that's the decision. And he's coming out with the belt at that stage. And what we do is we count up the number of rounds won, and that's what made that final decision.
It's been a fantastic evening. 12 solid rounds for the ISKA World Light Welterweight Championship of the World. And the final result is Pete Cunningham of the United States continues to be the champion in that division. It's been a fantastic evening from the Bercy Arena in Paris, France. I'm